Today date is 21st. So today we will start collision. So what do you mean by collision? Collision is a interaction in between two bodies such that after interaction velocities of bodies get changed. It is an interaction, you write down, it is an interaction between two bodies such that after interaction velocities of bodies get changed. It is an interaction in between two bodies such that after interaction velocities of bodies get changed. Now see here, as we know that in the collision there will be the contact of two bodies. Two bodies will collide when they come in the physical contact, but it is not necessary condition for the collision. Physical contact is not necessary. Most of the observations of collision you will find that they are coming in contact. But for example, if you are bombarding the nucleus by the alpha particles are positively charged particles. It's clear? Rutherford alpha particle scattering experiment. It's clear? So in that you know that alpha particle is positively charged. Nucleus is also positively charged. When it is bombarded, nucleus is bombarded by the alpha particle, what will happen? There will be collision, but both will not come in the physical contact. Means collision is also possible without coming the bodies in physical contact. Collision is also possible without coming in bodies to the physical contact. Therefore, you write down collision is also possible without coming the bodies in physical contact. Bodies in physical contact. Now see here, in every collision momentum will remain conserved as well as total energy will also remain conserved. In every collision momentum and total energy will remain conserved. It's clear? In every collision, total energy and momentum, means before collision what was the total momentum, after collision what was the total momentum, that will remain conserved. It's clear? Now see here, now I am going to explain you about the types of collision. So we will discuss two types of collision. One is the elastic collision and other is the inelastic collision. You can see here. Elastic collision and inelastic collision. collision. Now, what is the difference between both the collisions? Now, see here, in the elastic collision, kinetic energy will remain conserved. Kinetic energy will remain conserved. Means total kinetic energy before collision will be equal to the total kinetic energy after collision. But here kinetic energy will not remain conserved. Kinetic energy will not remain conserved. Then here kinetic energy will not remain conserved. Now see here, when elastic collision will take place, since there is no loss of kinetic energy, when elastic collision will take place, then all the forces involved during the collision, all the forces which are involved during the collision will be conservative. It's clear? Forces involved during collision will be conservative. As we know that conservative forces do not cause the loss of energy. They do not cause the loss of energy. So see here, since the kinetic energy remains constant, therefore the forces involved during the collision will be conservative. But here forces involved will be non-conservative. Forces involved will be non-conservative. It's clear? Now see here, for example, there are two bodies which are moving towards each other on a smooth floor, but their surfaces are rough. The surfaces which are come in contact are rough. So what will happen? When they will come in contact, then a frictional force will begin to act, and because of that there will be some loss of energy and kinetic energy will not remain conserved. It's clear? So here, though they are moving over the smooth surfaces, over the frictionless surfaces, but when they come in contact, so because of the rough surfaces, here a frictional force operates, and when frictional force operates, it will cause some loss of energy. It is clear? So these forces, so such type of collisions are called the inelastic collision. It is clear? Now see here, there is one perfectly inelastic collision. Perfectly inelastic collision. So all of you remember one thing, that during every type of collision, total energy and momentum will remain conserved, but kinetic energy will remain conserved only in the elastic collision. If it is not conserved kinetic energy, then it will be inelastic collision. What is the meaning of perfectly inelastic collision? If after collision both the bodies stick together, if after collision, suppose here this is a body which is moving towards this body which is at rest. It's clear? It is at rest. And after collision, they come in contact and move with a common velocity. Then this type of collision is the inelastic collision. Perfectly inelastic collision. In the perfectly inelastic collision, what will happen? Bodies will come in contact to each other, and after collision bodies will come in contact to each other, and then that combined body will move with a common velocity. So you write down, in the perfectly inelastic collision, after collision bodies will come in contact to each other and moves with a constant velocity. So if suppose in any question it is given that after collision bodies are stick together and moving with this velocity, means it will be what type of collision? It will be inelastic. It's clear? It will be inelastic collision. Now I am going to discuss the elastic collision in one dimension. What is the meaning of one dimension? That both bodies are moving along the same straight line. Elastic collision in one dimension. One dimension means both bodies are moving along the same straight line. So see here I am before collision. You can see it is like this. Here there is no friction anywhere. This is a body of mass m1 moving with a velocity u1. This is a body of mass m2 moving with a velocity u2 in the same direction. It's clear? Now under which condition m1 will collide to m2? Yes, जब ये तेज चले और वो धीमे चले तभी कोलिजन हो पाएगा यहाँ पर, because they are moving in the same direction. It's clear? So when u1 is more than u2, then only there will be the collision. Here we call this as a colliding body. This is a colliding body, and this is the target body. Target body. Here I have assumed that the bodies are perfectly smooth as well as they are moving over a frictionless surface. There is no friction anywhere. It is clear? Let during collision, what will happen? When the collision will take place, then both bodies will exert force on one another. Both bodies will exert force on one another. And when they will exert force on one another, what will happen? Their velocities will be changed. Velocities will be changed. What will be the picture after collision? Since already I have taken it as a elastic collision, therefore after collision bodies will get separated. Bodies will get separated because I am discussing elastic collision. So see here, now what will be the velocities of m1 and m2? Since both are exerting forces on one another, therefore velocities will change. Suppose it is moving in this direction and it is moving in this direction. It's clear? After collision, they are moving with the velocities v1 and v2. So now you can see here, from law of conservation of momentum, since the collision has taken place by its own, there is no involvement of any external force. Therefore, from law of conservation of linear momentum, What is the total momentum before collision? So you can see here, both the bodies are having the momentum in same direction. As we know that momentum is a what type of quantity? Vector. Therefore, it will be added vectorially. But here you can see, since both the bodies are moving in the same direction, therefore they are having the momentum in same direction. So what will be the total momentum before collision? m1 u1, it's clear, plus m2 u2. Now after collision what happens? Still they are moving in the same direction, so it will be m1 v1 plus m2 v2. You write down this. Now see here. Now bring the terms of m1 in one side and m2 in the other side. Bring terms of m1 in one side. So m1 u1 minus m1 v1 equals to m2 v2 minus m2 u2. Take out m1 common. So it is u1 minus v1 equals to m2 common, it is v2 minus u2. Write down in this way. This is the equation 1. Have you noted? Now see here. Since in the elastic collision kinetic energy remains conserved. Since in the elastic collision kinetic energy remain conserved, and kinetic energy remain conserved, as we know that kinetic energy is a scalar quantity, energy is a scalar quantity. So what is the total kinetic energy before collision? It is 1 upon 2 m1 u1 square plus 1 upon 2 m2 u2 square. What is the total kinetic energy after collision? If you see after collision, what is the total kinetic energy? So you will find that it is m1 v1 half m1 v1 square, m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. It is clear? Now 1 by 2 can be cancelled throughout, and then after cancelling 1 by 2 throughout, you can take term of m1 in left hand side and m2 in right hand side. So it will be m1 u1 square minus m1 v1 square equals to m2 u2 square minus m2 v2 square. It is clear? What will be common in here LHS? m1 u1 square minus v1 square. This is m2 u2 square minus v2 square. This is clear? Now how can you factorize u1 square minus v1 square? So it will be equal to, when you will factorize it, it will be u1 plus v1, u1 minus v1, and here it will be equal to what? m2 u2 plus v2 and u2 minus v2. This you take equation 2. Equation 2.
The right hand side v2 square minus u2 square.
Now you can see here there is a mistake here. Here it will be m2 v2 square minus m2 u2 square. m2 v2 square, not u2, and this is u2 square. So when you will simplify this, it will be V2 square minus U2 square, and here also you can simplify, factorize. So it will be V2 plus U2 into V2 minus U2. So this is the equation 2. Now this is clear. Now see here, we will divide equation 2 by equation 1 side by side. Dividing equation 2 by the equation 1 side by side. So you can see here, equation 2 is this. You write down from 2 upon 1. So it is M1 U1 plus V1 into U1 minus V1. When you will divide by the LHS of equation 1, it is what? M1 U1 minus V1 equals to, here you can see it is M2 V2 plus U2, V2 minus U2, and here RHS is this. So it will be M2 V2 minus U2. When you will further simplify, on further simplifying, what will you get? What will you get on further simplifying? See here, here you can cancel M1, M1, this bracket will be cancelled with this. Then M2, M2 is cancelled and this bracket will be cancelled with this. What will you get? You will get U1 plus V1 equals to V2 plus U2. You bring the terms of U in one side and terms of V in the other side. So you will get U1 minus U2 equals to V2 minus V1. U1 minus U2 equals to V2 minus V1. Now see here. Here you can see that M1 is the colliding body, M2 is the target body. What is U1 minus U2? It is the relative velocity of approach of colliding body towards the target body. Relative velocity of U1 minus U2 is what? Its relative velocity. It's clear? And it is approaching towards that. So we will say it is relative velocity of approach of colliding body towards target body. Towards target body. It's clear? This is equals to, here it is equals to what is V2 minus V1? V2 minus V1. What is V2 minus V1? You can see here. Here this is the colliding body and this is the target body. After collision, what happens? Target body is separating from colliding body. It's clear? Target body is separating from, means going away from this. Target body is going away from the colliding body. Here V2 minus V1 is this is the relative velocity of what? M1 or M2? m2. It is the relative velocity of m2. So we will say it is the relative velocity of separation of target body from colliding body. So this is relative velocity of approach is equal to the relative velocity of separation, and this derivation is also very important. Now we will determine the velocities of bodies after collision. So now two relations are known to you know. This is relation 3 and relation 1. Relation 3 and relation 1. We have to determine V1 and V2. V1 and V2. How will you determine? So see here, first of all we will determine V2 in terms of V1 from the relation 3. From 3, what is V2 in terms of V1? It will be V1 you bring in LHS. When you will bring in LHS, it will become plus, that is U1 minus U2 plus V1. Now this you substitute here in the equation 1, substituting this in equation 1. Value of V2 in equation 1. So you can see here it will be equal to M1 U1 minus V1 इक्वल्स टू, हमको निकालना क्या है ये ध्यान देना है, हमको V2 फाइंड आउट करना है, V1 फाइंड आउट वी आर फाइंडिंग V1 हियर प्लस V1 माइनस U2. When you will further simplify, is equal to M2, and here you can get U2 and U2 with same sign. So U1 minus 2U2 plus V1. Now see here, you have to determine V1. So you will bring the terms of V1 in one side. In LHS you bring the terms of V1. V1 के terms LHS में ले आए. So see here. Are you taking RHS? That will be better. And all other terms in this side. So see here, what will you get here? M1 U1 minus M1 V1 is equal to M2 U1 minus 2 M2 U2 plus M2 V1. You bring this term in that side. So, and all other term in LHS, M1 U1, इन दोनों टर्म को जिनमें M2 U2 है या M2 U1, you bring in this side. M2 U1 plus 2 M2 U2 मीन्स हमको करना क्या है, V1 के टर्म्स केवल एक साइड पे रखना. सो ब्रिंग दिस टर्म इन द RHS. सो इन RHS ऑलरेडी देयर इज वन टर्म ऑफ V1, M2 V1 प्लस M1 V1. This is clear. Now you further simplify. What is common from these two terms? What is common? U1 is common. You take out U1 common. M1 minus M2 plus 2 M2 U2 is equal to what is common here? V1 is common. M2 plus M1 into V1. It's clear? Now you have to determine V1. So you write down here M2 plus M1 into V1 is equal to M1 minus M2. I have written M1 minus M2 first and then U1 because both the things are in product. This and this is in product. So पहले हमने इसको लिखा फिर U1 को लिख लिया into U1 plus 2M2 U2. 2M2 U2. So what will be V1? M2 प्लस M1 से पूरे को डिवाइड कर दें RHS में. आए समझे? M2 प्लस M1 कैन आल्सो बी रिटन एज M1 प्लस M2. M1 प्लस M2. So it will be M1 minus M2 upon M1 plus M2. This I have written as M1 plus M2 into U1 plus 2M2 U2 upon M1 plus M2. This is the relation of V1. Now, how will you determine the expression of V2? So, in the same way you can do. You can do in the same way. You can determine value of V1 in terms of V2. V1 की वैल्यू V2 के टर्म्स में डिटरमाइन करेंगे और रख देंगे. Now here from here you can find V2 very simply. How can you write the expression of V2? जहाँ जहाँ पर 1 है वहाँ पर 2 कर दें और जहाँ जहाँ पर 2 है वहाँ पर क्या कर दें 1 कर दें, हमको V2 मिल जाएगा. Here it is M1, what will you write? M2. It is M2, write M1 divided by it is M2 plus M1 into U2 plus here it will be 2M1 U1 upon M2 plus M1. This relation you will get. It's clear? If you determine by finding the value of V1 in terms of V2 and then substituting here relative velocity of that, so you will get. It's clear? So in this lecture we will do only up to here. Now afterwards we will do some numericals over this.